We moved into the Calico Pines subdivision 5 years ago, lured by tree-lined streets and the promise of quiet suburban life. The houses, each with identical gables and sterile perfection, sat shoulder to shoulder like soldiers awaiting inspection. And the Homeowners Association, known in whispered tones as the HOA, was the general. From the moment we arrived, we felt the pressure. Lawn too long? Fine. Trash bin visible? Citation. Fence paint chipping? Warning letter and a deadline. There was a rule for everything, pages upon pages of regulations, and none of them allowed for a breath of individuality. But the real battle started with Grandpa's wind chimes. Grandpa Earl moved in with us after my grandmother passed. He was a retired electrician, a Korean War vet, and a man who wore his patriotism as proudly as his flannel shirts. To him, wind chimes were more than decor. They were a symphony of memory and spirit. He hung 3 on our front porch. On the second day, we received a notice of noncompliance. Chimes are prohibited due to noise pollution, the letter said. Grandpa scoffed. They're afraid of music now. He refused to take them down. Then came the visits. HOA patrol cars, black SUVs with gold lettering and flashing amber lights, began driving slowly past our home. Sometimes they stopped, sometimes they took pictures. Once, I caught a patrolman walking around our yard with a clipboard. "You're not allowed back here," I told him. "Just making sure everything's compliant," he replied, and smiled like a crocodile. A week later, they fined us for a non-regulation planter box that Grandpa had built. That's when Grandpa started watching. He'd sit on the porch in his rocker, coffee in one hand, binoculars in the other. "They climb the fences sometimes," he told me one evening. "Caught one sneaking through the hedges yesterday, like raccoons in khakis." It became a game. The HOA would try to catch us out of compliance. Grandpa would catch them in the act of trespassing. But no matter how many photos he took, how many letters we sent, the HOA dismissed it all. "We have the authority to inspect all properties," they claimed, "for the community's good." Grandpa muttered something about tyranny and built a taller fence. Then they climbed it again. It happened early on a foggy morning. Grandpa had just settled into his rocker when he spotted the shadow moving by the side gate. By the time he reached the edge of the porch, the figure, wearing a navy windbreaker emblazoned with HOA security, had scaled the 6-foot fence and dropped into our backyard. Grandpa shouted, but the man didn't flinch. He walked directly toward the shed Grandpa had built last spring. When Dad confronted the HOA president, Sharon Wilkes, a woman with lacquered hair and a smile made of steel, she denied everything. "Routine inspection," she said. "He never left the sidewalk." But we had it on Grandpa's phone. Full video. Clear audio. A man trespassing, ignoring commands to leave, snooping around our property. When we presented the footage at the next HOA meeting, Sharon gave a dismissive shrug. "Our patrols operate within legal boundaries." "No, they don't," Grandpa barked. "We are empowered to ensure compliance," Sharon replied. "If you have a problem, you're welcome to appeal to the board." We did. The board was Sharon and her 3 handpicked neighbors. Our appeal was denied. Afterward, Grandpa got quiet, but I could see something brewing in his eyes. It wasn't defeat. It was calculation. He spent the next week in the garage. Sawdust flew, solder sparked, wires snaked across the workbench. Grandpa, the man who used to repair warplanes, now repurposed his skill to a new cause. It was the gate. At first glance, it looked the same, wooden slats, rusted hinges, but now it had a core of hidden metal, copper wiring, and a warning sign stenciled in thick red letters. "Private property, do not enter." Electrified gate. "It's low voltage," he said. "Just enough to ruin someone's morning." Legal, too, since I posted a warning. Mom and Dad were hesitant, but Grandpa wouldn't budge. "They want a war. I'll give them a frontier." The next morning, he sat on the porch again, rocking, waiting. It didn't take long. A patrol car slowed to a crawl in front of our house. Grandpa didn't move. The gate remained closed. The sign, bright red against the wood, was unmistakable. The man stepped out, clipboard in hand, same navy windbreaker. He walked to the side, toward the gate. He read the sign. He hesitated. Then he touched it. A pop. A yelp. A muttered curse. Grandpa chuckled. I watched from the window, equal parts horrified and impressed. The man stumbled back to his car, nursing his hand. An hour later, a formal notice arrived. Unauthorized modification to perimeter fencing. Violation of Community Uniform Aesthetics Code. They wanted us to take it down. Grandpa refused. He had documented everything, posted signs, clear warnings, legal precedents. He even installed a camera with night vision. 2 days later, someone cut the power to our gate. They snuck in after midnight, climbed the fence, and snipped the wires. Grandpa's camera caught them. A man in an HOA patrol uniform, face obscured by a hood. When we called the police, they told us it was a civil matter. Grandpa didn't flinch. He built it back, better this time. Solar backup, battery reserves, hidden sensors. This isn't about a gate anymore, he told us. It's about standing up to bullies in suits. The HOA doubled down. More fines. Threats of legal action. Sharon sent a letter. Failure to comply will result in property lien. Grandpa laughed. Let him try. The neighborhood took notice. People started asking questions. Why did the HOA need to sneak into backyards? Why did they have the right to trespass, but homeowners couldn't protect their property? One by one, others began pushing back. A neighbor refused to repaint his fence. Another stopped trimming his rose bushes. Someone installed a second flagpole, another violation. And through it all, Grandpa rocked on the porch. Watching. Waiting. The climax came on a hot Sunday afternoon. A patrol car parked across the street. 2 men stepped out, one holding bolt cutters, the other a folder marked, "Eviction process urgent." Grandpa saw them coming. He stood. The first man grabbed the gate. The second approached the porch, waving papers. "Sir, we're here under authority of..." Zap. The man at the gate recoiled, dropping the bolt cutters. A flash of blue arced across the latch. "You were warned," Grandpa said. Sirens followed minutes later. Real ones this time. Not HOA patrols. The police. But this time, Grandpa had more than videos. He had affidavits from neighbors. Evidence of trespassing, vandalism, harassment. He presented everything to the responding officers, who took it seriously. Within a week, an investigation was launched. Within a month, the HOA's authority crumbled. Turns out they had overstepped. Repeatedly. Sharon Wilkes was found guilty of unlawful surveillance and misuse of community funds. The patrols were disbanded. The bylaws rewritten with input from residents. Grandpa was asked to join the new oversight committee. He declined. "I just wanted peace," he said. "Not politics." But every morning, he still sits on the porch. The wind chimes sing softly above him. And the gate, still electrified.